What's up, fam? Welcome back to the pod. Welcome back to the pod, baby. Welcome back, Chodes to Bay Pod fam. Welcome back. New episode of the pod. Welcome back to the pod. That's the new name for the podcast, just the pod. Welcome back to the pod. Oh, new episode of the pod. Going live right now. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lion on Main show. I'm Jay. You know, things have been kind of uneventful recently, considering like what we started with. You know, with coming into the new year. You know, but like yeah, like I said, like recently, just like not a lot of shit's been going on. Like I think like probably the biggest thing that happened recently was the whole thing with like Kanye and shit. Like it, you probably already know it was like all over Twitter. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess it was all over Twitter, but like it wasn't all over Twitter. You know, I don't know. I saw a lot of it. Okay, it was on my trending page. I saw some people tweeting about it, and apparently it was like Kanye's daughter's birthday or something like that. I think her name is Chicago. Is it Chicago? I think. I don't really know Kanye's kid's name. All I know is Northwest. Anyway, so it was his daughter's birthday, and like, if you don't know, Kim and Kanye are separated. That's why Kim's with Pete Davidson, which I don't understand. What is attractive about him? I mean, sure, he's funny, but like, really? Is that all you really need? If so, like, look at me, man. Anyways, yeah, so Kim's with Pete Davidson, and like, Kanye posted a video that apparently he wasn't invited to his daughter's birthday party, you know? And I don't want to say like he wasn't allowed, because I mean, we'll get into that, but like it just sort of seemed like it's not like they said you can't come. It was just like he's like, "Yo, where's the party at?" And no one said anything. Like no one told him where it was, which I mean, that's kind of fucked up, right? You know? And so Kanye didn't know where the party was, so he posted this video saying how he doesn't know where the party is. He wasn't invited. He wasn't told the address and all this shit. And I'm like, don't you live right across the street from Kim? Did you not see the commotion going on at the house? You know, like you would think you just look out the window, you see like 50 cars out there, and you're like, that's not normal. You know? Oh, there's security? Oh, balloons? What's going on over there? By the way, where's my daughter's birthday party? I don't know. I don't know if the party was at Kim's house, but I mean, obviously it wasn't, or else he probably would have known, you know, because he did buy a house right across the street from Kim, right? Unless that was fake news. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Anyways, so yeah, he posted this video, and obviously, you know, it got a lot of attention because it's Kanye and it's a fucked up story, and it's drama, Kardashians, you know how it is. But ultimately, Travis Scott gave Kanye the address, and so Kanye showed up, and apparently security at first wasn't going to let Kanye in. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't know if he wasn't allowed or wasn't invited, you know, because on one hand, it's like, you know, if he wasn't allowed, you should have just said you're not allowed. So it sort of seemed like he just wasn't invited. But at the same time, you went out of your way to tell security, yo, if Kanye shows up, don't let him in. Because, I mean, it's not like security doesn't know who Kanye is, right? It's not like Kanye's walking up and they're like, yo, who's this fella? Just waltzing up to the party, you know? So, but Kylie let him in, and so security's like, yeah, okay, whatever, I guess you can go in. And so Kanye was able to see his daughter on her birthday or whatever. But like, the fact that no one told him where the address was is just kind of like, yo, what the hell? It kind of makes me wonder, like, because obviously, I mean, well, I don't know if Kanye asked Travis where the party was. I don't know if Travis saw the video and said, yo, let me help a fella out and give him the address, you know? But I don't know. It was just sort of like a weird situation. I don't know why he wasn't allowed to see his kids. I know that they're separated, but I mean, like, what the hell, you know? Did you ask Chicago if she wanted to see her dad? Did you be like, yo, you want to see Ye? You want to see Ye? You know, what if Chicago wanted to see him, you know? And you just like, you were going to deny her that? Really? On her birthday? Come on. Anyway, so that was like pretty much the big thing that happened this past week. But yeah, you know, it's just like not a whole lot's been going on, you know, a lot of work and shit. You know, it's just like being an adult it's hard, man. It's boring and it's hard. Like, you got to do so much shit. You know, like growing up, when you're a kid, like you're thinking, damn, being an adult must be so cool because you can do anything you want. You don't need permission from your parents to do anything. You know, I can't wait to be an adult, right? But the problem is like, yeah, sure, when you grow up, you don't need permission to go on, do something fun from your parents. But guess what? You need to get permission from your boss now. The cycle just continues, you know? And your boss is not as lenient as your parents probably were, you know? Because probably like, probably when you're younger, like if your friend's like, hey, do you want to hang out today? You can go like, okay, let me ask my mom or something. You go up and be like, hey, mom, can I hang at Jordan's house? And your mom was probably like, you should have asked me sooner or something. You guys should have planned this out, blah, 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 all this stuff. But ultimately, she'd probably be like, yeah, okay, whatever. And take you to Jordan's house, you know? But like, when you're working, if your friend's like, yo, you want to go have a beer with me right now? If you go up to your boss and be like, hey, can I take the rest of the day off? Your boss is probably like, get back to work. What are you doing? And you're like, yeah, dude, it didn't work out. Like you got to plan way in advance. Like you got to tell your boss like 2 or 3 weeks in advance, be like, yo, by the way, I'm planning on taking Tuesday off to go clubbing or something, you know? And then even then your boss could be like, no, I need you that day. And you're like, what the fuck is the point of growing up if I can't do what I want? But like, I gotta say, probably my biggest accomplishment being an adult is I finally went out and bought myself a grocery bag, you know? And, you know, at first, like, I wasn't going to do it, you know? Like, I wasn't going to do it, but they got rid of plastic bags, you know? They must have sent out, like, an email or something. And I missed it because I don't check my email. But yeah, they got rid of grocery bags, and so I'm at the store and I buy like a shit ton of groceries, and I'm at the checkout, and the cashier says to me, she's like, "Do you want a bag for your groceries?" And I'm like, I mean, that's the only way I'm gonna get this shit to the car. So. And so she replies, she's like, well, how many bags do you want? As many as it'll take to get this shit to the car. Why are you asking me all these questions? You know? You're talking to me like the bag boy isn't right here in front of us. Like it's his expertise. You know, you should be asking him. I look at the bag boy and I'm like, dude, you gotta speak up for yourself. You know? You're going nowhere at the rate you're going. You know? And so she's like, well, it's going to be 10 cents a bag. And I'm like, fuck that shit. Just put it in my arms or whatever. And she's like, well, sir, that's a lot of groceries. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I plan to double bag it with my arms as I make like 15 trips back and forth to my car, you know? So like, I didn't want to deal with that again. So I bought myself a grocery bag, you know, one of those reusable bags. And I still run into the same issue because I always forget the bag at home, you know? I go to the grocery store and I'm like, well, shit. I forgot the bag, you know? I mean, just the other day, I was talking to my friend and my buddy says, man, it looks like you lost weight. And I was like, I only bought one grocery bag. And like once I buy like the milk and water, there's not really any room for anything else, you know? But yeah, it's just like, as a kid, like your parents would just buy the groceries, you know? Like I didn't have to do anything. I just sit at home, you know? And the food just appears in the house, you know? Like one day I look in the fridge and I'm like, damn, there's no cheese. Next day, cheese galore, you know? We got like 15 bags of different kinds of cheese, you know? And I'm like, this is amazing, you know? But still, I have to ask permission to go over to Jordan's house. But yeah, it's just like, you got all these like responsibilities and shit. And it's like, dude, I wish I was a kid again. No responsibilities. My only responsibility is to play. That's literally all I have to do, you know? And yeah, school, but, come on. Who really tries in first grade? You know what I'm saying? What's there to try at anyways? Coloring? Uh-oh. Color outside the lines. 5 points off. Anyways, but yeah, but also part of the thing is like this is the shit that I grew up with, like when you get to like high school and shit, like your friends, like they just don't want to plan shit, you know? They're just like, hey, do you want to hang out? And you're like, yeah, sure. When? I don't know. Okay. What do you want to do? I don't know. Okay. But do you want to hang out? It's like, okay, dude, anyone who has strict parents knows what I'm talking about. It's like, dude, you have to give your parents like the entire rundown, you know? Like it's like it's a birthday party or something, and like someone sends you the invitation with all the information, and you need to like convey that to your parents. So like there's no just like drop everything and hang out. Let's just do whatever. It's just like, what are you doing? What time are you leaving? What time are you getting back? How many people are going to be there? What's their names? It's like, dog, I don't know. He just said, do you want to hang out? And I was like, sure. Because I got nothing better to do, other than homework. But I mean, come on, who really tries in high school? Uh-oh, misspelled because 5 points off. But anyways, like, yeah, like, and like you got to do the same shit with your boss. I mean, kind of. I mean, you don't really, I mean, you don't really need to tell them what you're doing. You just got to be like, I'm taking that day off, And they're going to be like, they can either be like, okay, have fun, or not fun, depending on what you're doing. Or they might be like, well, I need you, so screw you. You're not taking that day off. You got to have like a nice boss who's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just let you take that day off. I think the only time that you can like actually take a day off, like the day of, is if you claim you're sick, But they may be like, you don't look sick. I've heard stories like you go on Twitter and there's like stories where it's like, I was made to go to work even though I was sick. So it's like, even then, that doesn't even work. Like, yeah, just spread your sickness all over the office. I don't give a shit. I need you to work. Which, like, well, actually, no, it'd probably be PTO. Because I was going to say, well, I mean, if you're an hourly employee, right? If you don't work one day, you don't get paid that day. So it's like, they should be happy that you're sick. Because they're like, I don't have to pay you, But then again, they may have to pay someone overtime or something, which is more money. But like, I don't know. Like I was at my job and like I'm doing like camera shit, because like I'm studying film, and so like they brought me in because I know film shit, and like they know nothing. Like I'm not trying to be mean. Like, this is what they told me. They're like, yo, we don't know what we're doing. We need someone to come in and help us out, And so I was like, hey, I'm here for you, Like, I'll help you out. And so, like, I was brought in, and then my boss proceeds to tell me like how cameras work and like how to operate a camera. Like I wasn't brought in to do that for him, you know? I was like, you hired me because I know cameras. And then you're coming in here and you're like, okay, this is what the white balance does. Like, I know what the white balance does, man. Like, I know why you need it. I white balance this camera every single time I do this podcast, you know? Anyways, but yeah, he was telling me how cameras work. He's like, yeah, this is how you switch it on and off. It's like, I'm like, dog, it's labeled. It says on and off. I know how to use this. But yeah, you know, and he's telling me that I need to, you know, look up how to use this camera, you know, how it operates and shit like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Like, I don't know how to use a camera, you know? And once again, like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but it's like, you brought me in to do this for you. And like, even like, you're supposed to white balance your camera every single time you use it, generally, because like, I mean, especially when like, if you move the camera, like if you adjust the position of the camera, like I have it white balanced for this position right here, right? Now, if I was to move this camera like an inch to the left or something like that, I would have to white balance again just to make sure everything is okay. Like I would need to adjust all the settings because like even the slightest change may, I mean, you probably won't notice. You probably like a video's a video. I don't really give a shit, but it's like, I care, you know? It's like, I'm going to know something's wrong with the camera when I watch it, you know? But I mean, I guess if your camera's in a fixed position the entire time, like you don't need to white balance every single time, which I guess their cameras are in the same spot every single time. But it's just, it's good practice to white balance every single time because they also have like lights and shit like that. And, you know, what if one day the light is dimmer than normal, you know, like lighting changes, you know? And also, I don't know if they moved the lights. I'm not the light guy. I'm the camera guy. Okay. I'm the cameraman. I survive all the natural disasters. Watch any movie. Cameraman survives everything. Okay. Anyways, I don't even know why I even brought that up. Anyways, yeah. So like, you should white balance the camera every single time. And they're like, they don't, you know? Like the most common way to white balance also is to use a white piece of paper, but you're supposed to have like this gray thing with like a white target sort of looking thing on it, you know, like that's what you're supposed to use to white balance. And I know you're probably like, what? White balance with a gray thing? Yeah, I know. But like, that's what you're supposed to use. And they don't have that. Like, hell, they don't even have a white paper around, like a blank white piece of paper to like white balance the camera. And like everything is automatic, which, you know, is good, you know, autofocus and, you know, auto everything. Like that's cool. But manual is really the way to go, you know? And I was brought in to do that. And my boss is telling me how to use the camera. And I'm like, dog, what? You know? Honestly, I'm surprised that he even knows how to use the camera. You know, like that. So like they broadcast, they have like this like presentation every week, right? And like, that's what I do. I do the camera for this presentation thing. And so they do like a live broadcast and everything goes through this external recorder, right? Which is something that I was trying to get for this camera before I was like, fuck it, I'm just hook it up to my laptop, right? But yeah, everything goes through like this external recorder, right? And being that it's a device, like you got to update it when a new software update comes out, you know? Sort of like your phone or your laptop, really anything. But like, so like it was time for it to update, right? And on the screen, it says that there was an error in updating the software, right? It says it right there, like big letters, right? It was like a yellow box with big black letters in the yellow box that says failed software update or something like that. Error updating software, whatever it said. Basically, it said it didn't work, right? And my boss is like going around. He's like, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It won't turn on, you know, like, you know, it won't show me the cameras and all that stuff. Like it's not doing anything. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with it? He's like, I have no idea. So I walk in and it says error updating software. And I just like, I didn't even have to walk in the room. He just opened the door and I read it from the door. And I was like, oh, it looks like it failed to update the software. And he's like, really? And I'm like, did you not read the screen? Like, you're the one telling me how to use a camera and you can't even read? I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. But yeah, so, but I mean, the camera that they're using is different from the one I'm using. So like, I was already planning on looking into it because there's a lot more buttons and shit to do. So I was going to look into all that stuff and like, I was going to see like what would be the best for the environment that the camera's in and all that shit. Like I was going to do that anyways. But it was just funny to me that he's like telling me how to use a camera. Like I wasn't hired for that, you know? It's like, imagine if like your laptop is buggy. So you call like Apple support or whatever you have, right? And then when the guy comes to your house to fix your laptop, you start telling them how how a laptop works and how you're supposed to fix it. And it's like, dog, he's the technician. Like didn't you call him to do this? He doesn't need you to tell him how to do his job or her job. You know, I don't know. Either or. Anyways. Yeah, it's just kind of funny. But yeah, I think that might be it for this episode of Lying on Main. Adulting is hard, man. Stay a kid. Then again, looking at the demographics, my listeners are all in their 20s anyways, so like, you know, we're all screwed anyways. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Whatever you guys are listening to this on, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Leave a review or just rate it 5 stars. Spread this podcast to everyone you know, everyone you love, everyone you hate, even your enemies. Say it's a peace offering, you know? Follow me on social media at RealJLions and at Lion on Main on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love you. I don't know. Do I?